This morning on DC News Now, we're off to a chilly start out there this morning. Some of us starting off into the teens, others low to mid 20s, 30s in the district. More details. We'll get towards the rest of that 7-day coming up.
And breaking overnight, a man is dead after a stabbing at a home in Virginia. We are live at the scene with what investigators are learning.
Plus, D.C. police addressing the killing of a 13-year-old in Northeast, saying misinformation has led to overblown anger. In a split-screen moment, community members gathered to express their frustrations. What could be next in the case of Karan Blake?
Plus, Walmart woes what shoppers still cannot find at a local store after it promised fully restocked shelves days ago.
The station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
All right, good Wednesday morning to you. Thanks for joining us. I'm Corey James.
Good morning. I'm Tanaya Wright. We want to get right to meteorologist Jackie Layer for a check on our Wednesday forecast. Jackie, we could see some rain in some places.
Yes, we could see a few sprinkles later on today. Those will be isolated and mainly back over towards western Maryland and parts of West Virginia, but likely some more showers expected later on tonight. But temperatures out there right now, we're off to a cold start. 34 in the district. That's one of the warmer spots on the map at this hour. 27 right now in Fredericksburg, 21 in Manassas, 26 in Hagerstown, 21 over towards Culpeper. The wind chill feeling a little bit colder than those actual air temperatures. Feeling like we're into the teens right now. Manassas low 30s in the district, 20s over towards Frederick as well as Hagerstown. Hagerstown feeling like we're just 20 degrees. We're noticing more clouds strolling in. At least right now, we're seeing mainly clear conditions, but the leading edge of the cloud cover is back out towards our west. So for the kids at the bus stop this morning, make sure that they are bundled up. We'll just see a mix of those clouds starting to stroll their way in. And again, temperatures right around the freezing mark. Now, later on today, we'll see those high temperatures varying into the upper 40s to right near 50. Warmer temperatures tomorrow, but more rain is on the way. More details coming up, but Shanika's here with a look at traffic. How's it looking right now?
Well, you're backed up on BW Parkway heading southbound. This is in Jessup, so right near 175, you're going to find a vehicle fire, and that's causing some delays for commuters. If you look closely, you're going to start to see some congestion further down, so do be careful. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be like that for quite some time. Let's flip over to the maps. You're only dealing with 2 lanes, but the rest is A-OK. Now, looking at the inner loop stretch right near Branch Avenue, we were talking about a tractor-trailer fire causing delays. Now you're in the cleanup stages, and it looks like the crews are still there. So you are still moving very slowly right near Branch Avenue in Camp Springs. But after that point, you're all good to go on the inner and outer loop.
Thank you, Shanika. A man was stabbed to death at about midnight in Fairfax County.
And this morning, police are still in the early stages of their investigation. That stabbing, though, happened in a neighborhood in McLean, and investigators have been there for hours working to figure out exactly what happened. Now, DC News Now's Lex Wars is live on the scene this morning. And Lex, what do police know at this hour?
Well, there are still a lot of unknowns this morning. One man is dead and a woman, his wife, recovering from her own injuries. Now, the wife actually is the one who called the police around midnight when this stabbing happened. Police say that she called them and told 911 that her son stabbed her husband. Now, responding officers quickly took the son into custody. When arriving here before that, or just after that, they found the man in the house. He had been stabbed in his upper body and was suffering from trauma. Officers said that they tried to save the man's life, but he did die inside of that home. Now, up until about 30 minutes ago, police still had the cul-de-sac here blocked off, so nobody could go down the street here, as investigators were here overnight and throughout this morning, still working to figure out exactly what happened and run their investigation inside of the house. They do say that they will be releasing more information as the day continues. We are waiting for them right now to find out what they found out inside of that house. Of course, as we find out more information, we'll let you know both here and online. But for now, live in Fairfax County, I'm Lex Juarez, DC News Now.
All right, thank you, Lex. Your time right now is 6:03. DC Fire and EMS responded to 3 separate fires within about an hour around midnight. The first was reported in an apartment on Chesapeake Street in Southeast. No injuries were reported, but 2 people have been displaced. The second fire happened at an apartment on S Street in Northwest. No injuries reported there either. That third fire was in a home on Burn Street in Southeast. The cause of that fire is believed to be from a hoverboard. and 2 people are dead after their car crashed in Fairfax County.
It happened at Fairfax Station on Lee Chapel Road yesterday. The 2 people inside the car died at the scene. Now, a 3rd person was taken to a nearby hospital with life-threatening injuries and remains in the hospital this morning. The accident closed down Lee Chapel Road between State Route 123 and County Parkway. No word on what caused the crash.
No matter how you look at it, it's a homicide. So let's not treat it as though this person needs to be protected from the community. The community needs to be protected from him.
And those are passionate pleas from neighbors and loved ones demanding answers after a 13-year-old boy was shot and killed by a homeowner in Northeast D.C.
Hundreds of people gathered at the Turkey Thicket Rec Center last night for a community meeting. D.C. News Now's Randy Bass is in our newsroom this morning with more on this developing story. Randy, good morning.
Yeah, this morning, community members are calling for change, including the grandfather of 13-year-old Karan Blake. They all gathered for that community meeting at Turkey Thicket last night. That meeting gave people a chance to try and get some answers as they come to grips with the death of another child lost to gun violence in the district. Very passionate pleas and frustration with the police investigation in this case 5 days after Blake was killed. Many community members feel the biggest question, who killed Karan? And why hasn't he been charged?
Give me justice, get a family justice, do your job, let the jury deal with it.
Early on, that could adversely impact this case. And I don't think anybody standing in front of me or watching this wants to do anything that could adversely impact this case.
Police Chief Robert Conti explained his decision not to release the name with that investigation ongoing. He says the facts will go before a grand jury, which will then decide whether or not it's appropriate to file charges in the case. Conti also called out several community members for posting misinformation about the case online.
People are making allegations centered around race. Spreading of inaccurate information is dangerous, reckless, and has the potential to adversely impact the investigation.
What we do know about the shooter at this point, police are confirming that he is a black man who had a concealed carry permit for the weapon used in this shooting. Of course, we followed this story from the very beginning since it first happened over the weekend, and we'll continue to bring you breaking updates as we get them in here in our newsroom. Guys?
All right, Randy, thank you. Your time right now is 6:06 this morning. An Amtrak train en route from Virginia to Florida is back on the move after a delay reportedly caused passengers to be stuck on the tracks for nearly 30 hours. Take a look at this. This image coming from our sister station, WBTW in Myrtle Beach, showing a freight train that derailed Monday night. It ended up being quite the roadblock for the Amtrak auto train. Now, the Washington Post this morning has reported the train came to a halt at a wooded area near Denmark, South Carolina. It left passengers stranded with limited food supplies for well over an entire day. This morning, DC News Now is working to confirm more details on the delay. So far, Amtrak has not responded. And this morning, shoppers at one DC Walmart may find empty shelves again. The 8th Street Walmart struggling to stay stocked even after managers told us more groceries were coming. Our Dave LaValle spoke with shoppers who are having to make do with what's left.
Bananas, my favorite ice cream.
A small win for Deborah Anderson, but she was not able to get many of the things she needed at the 8th Street Walmart.
Eggs, bread, and water.
Those shelves are practically empty. A Walmart spokesperson blamed a broken refrigeration unit for the shortages. The shelves are cold as the problem was fixed, but there's nothing on them.
It's very bad because I do like bread, dairy, you know, and everything.
A few grapes that they had left around.
We spoke to Terry Smith, who waited on a ride after a trip to the store. He was also unable to find some major food staples.
Vegetables and stuff like that.
Walmart is one of the world's leading retailers, yet the shopping experience here over the last few weeks has not been what customers normally experience.
It was like Walmart, but it was just like, you know, wasn't much in there to get beside.
I've never seen it so empty like that in a Walmart since it's been here.
Managers told us a large shipment is expected to arrive late Tuesday night, but it could be the weekend before all the shelves are fully restocked.
I found what I could get, so I guess I'm a little satisfied today with this.
All right, your time right now is 6:09 this morning. Covering Frederick County, Maryland this morning, students at Governor Thomas Johnson High School are returning to class after a fight on campus. Investigators say this happened yesterday in the cafeteria with one student assaulting a staff member. Students and staff involved in that fight had cuts and bruises, but no serious injuries. They do say the student who hurt a staff member will be charged, and the other students will face disciplinary actions through the school. And the end of an era now in Annapolis. 1 week from today, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan will leave office after 8 years. Governor-elect Wes Moore is going to be taking his place. Hogan gave his final farewell address last night.
Deep down, there truly is far more that unites us than divides us. So this one last time, from the bottom of my heart, thank you and farewell.
Now, a lot has happened in the last 8 years, and Hogan is leaving office saying he helped change the state for the better.
A key demographic that kept him in office, black voters in Maryland. Our Leonard N. Fleming sat down with Hogan for an exclusive interview.
I have people every day come up to me and say, you know, I'm a lifelong Democrat. They're black voters and say, you're the only one I've ever voted for. But I appreciate you. And they'll say, I don't even agree with you on everything, but I know that you're telling the truth when you say something.
As I sat down with the governor in his final full week in office, Hogan paid respect to African-American voters who have been key to his 2 victories, and both against black candidates who ran against him. In fact, he grew his black support from 14% when he first won office in 2014 to 28% in his re-election bid in 2018. As Hogan leaves office next week, it's a legacy the governor is proud of.
How did you win over these African-American voters? What was the sauce, the secret sauce for you?
Well, yeah, it's one of the things I'm actually proud of. Not that I beat those 2, fine gentlemen, but that black voters actually trusted me and thought that I cared about them and that I would work for them.
And those candidates were Anthony Brown, the state's new attorney general, and Ben Jealous, the once president of the NAACP.
Maryland has the highest. We're a majority minority state, one of the only ones in the country, and we have the highest black population outside of the South.
Hogan says that the connection he forged with black voters by shooting straight was key to his success.
I ran against the national president of the NAACP for re-election when only one other Republican in history had ever been re-elected, and I won 30% of the black vote, which no Republican ever gets. And I think black voters particularly rewarded me for they don't like a lot of BS. And they were like, even though that guy's a Republican, I like the fact that he just answers the question.